Hey there, everybody. New studio, new intro. I'm just here to remind you guys before you listen to today's episode, make sure you follow the show and subscribe wherever you listen. If you watch the show on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there, you comment, you like, and you share. Also, follow my social media, all of it, both Instagrams, my Twitter, follow it all. Your life is to be consumed by my life. Tell everybody that you know about me. Start conversations with the fact that the Smoking Simian is your favorite podcast. Bombard everyone that you know and love with the Smoking Simian. Send them links day in and day out of my show, of the episodes, of my posts. Get thrown out of your house because the only thing that you care about is the Smoking Simian. Do it. Enjoy today's episode. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and good whatever time you listen to this because I am late. This is the first time, almost the first time in 2 years where I didn't have the episode out by 4 a.m. on the day it was supposed to come out, which is when for whatever reason, I just chose 4 a.m. to be the time. I think it's because they all hit the directories, the podcast directories at different times. So I figured by 4 a.m., if it's out by 4 a.m., and by the time I wake up, I'll be able to share it on pretty much all platforms. But today is one of those cases where I didn't get it done in time. Obviously, these are few and far between. It is still Thursday, so it's not like I'm missing the day, but I am. It's just not dropping at the time I normally would. But either way, we got something for you. It's not like we're fucking things up completely. The camera might be a little weird if you're watching on YouTube. Camera's a little strange, doesn't really matter. The reason why it is because I had to put this whole podcast setup, more or less the whole thing, back together when I got back from Maine, which I'll talk about in a second. You know your coffee is good when it smells like a hookah is burning. But the Maine was a good time, guys. Maine was a lot of fun. I really felt like I hit a new RPM in comedy out there because I did, 3 shows in 2 days is more than I've ever done, right? 3 shows. I could have done more, but I was with my buddy Raph, who, thanks to him, we got some real good footage. We're going to talk later on today about getting it out to you guys, how we want to get it out. That's why I brought him along. That's why I spent all that goddamn money. That's why I didn't charge him anything for it. So if he thinks he's getting off without me being a badgering old man. You ever see old men or old people badger the fuck out of salespeople? Like, I remember seeing my dad when I was younger bothering the fuck out of people just all the time. I felt bad. Like, I have friends who are in trades, and I feel bad telling them about my family and them needing things because my dad is a fucking menace. And old people, they love to badger the fuck out of workers. They love to sit there and stand and look over their shoulder. It's almost like they don't trust them or something. It's almost like their years of experience in their field isn't enough to get people behind what they're doing. They don't trust them. So I trust Raph, but I have an idea. I have ideas of how I want this shit to go. And I invested in it because I feel like it'll be good. I feel like it'll be some good content. I feel like it'll get some eyeballs on my shit. And if it doesn't, well, that's $2,000 down the drain. It's $2,000 down the drain regardless. But it's, at least if I can get a couple views, then I'll feel better. I'll feel a little bit better about it. No, but we had a good time. Thursday was the first day we got there. We got the little Airbnb right on the Old Orchard Beach Strip over there. If anybody's familiar with Maine, it is a fun time in that area we spent most of our time between Portland and Old Orchard Beach. Old Orchard Beach is like New England's Jersey Shore. There's a pier and there's a club at the end of the pier that it gets lit in there because it is the only thing to do especially for late night. 4 miles. It is the only thing that happens on Old Orchard Beach that isn't eating, swimming, or like they have a little amusement park. It's the only non-family oriented thing over there. So everybody goes. Every person goes. Every younger person goes there. That's and then they got the pizza places outside, which are fucking terrible. I paid $5 for a slice of pizza that was falling apart in my hand. Okay, I party in New York City till 4 a.m. and I get good pizza. I get pizza that's actually tasty, and it's cheaper. Right? It's cheap, and you don't need it to be tasty, and you don't need it to be cheaper when you're drunk. But knowing that that's an option, that being an option just instantly makes wherever you are better. And over here at Old Orchard Beach, I paid $5 for a piece of styrofoam dog shit pizza, which I should have known, but I was drunk and I was hungry. Thursday, it was the first one. We did a show at a brewery. There was the crowds. There weren't really crowds, you know. The crowds kind of sucked, but I felt incredibly comfortable doing the shows. I felt super comfortable. The first time I did comedy last week was at the show. I just was busy, or, you know, not even busy. I don't know what the fuck I was. I didn't go out that week. And, you know, I was able to do 3 shows. I did my first weed-themed show, where I had to get high first, and then I absolutely killed it. You know, that was in somebody's backyard. Somebody was hosting that. I did a show at a weed museum, whatever that is. You know, Portland has very much taken in the weed culture. They have, man. Maine as a whole, but definitely Portland. I mean, my God. Every other store is a weed dispensary or a smoke shop or fucking something, man. They love it out there. They really do love it. And Portland's nice. I'm not going to lie. Normally, I come on here and I shit on places, which, you know, will come, I'm sure. But I shit on the places that I go. And Maine was a pleasant surprise, man. Maine was nice. We went to, I like South Portland. South Portland's a nice community. You know, if there was actual comedy up there, which it seems like there is some, I would go there. I would move there. But it's the opposite direction. I'm not trying to go more north, right? I'm not trying to go where the hillbilly goat fuckers live. As nice as it was, you know, I would prefer to still go, you know, southern, further from where the fuck I am. And yes, I get it. It's further away. But you get what the fuck I'm saying. I want to go to New York. As cool as Maine is, I can't see myself necessarily being there for an extended period of time. The women in Maine are very aggressive. Very aggressive. The women in Maine are... A woman showed us her titties and didn't, like, no qualms about it. Just ran across the street with her titties out. Took them out as she was running across the street to us. And she just showed them to us, and we were like, whoa, tits, early in the morning. Well, it was like 1, 2 in the morning. Yeah, so early in the morning. It was a bachelorette party. They got a lot of those. I don't know why people go to Maine for bachelorette parties. Let's go to Old Orchard Beach. And it's a big group of, some of the women are hot and some of them are, you know. So in this group, there was one girl who was fucking gorgeous. The rest of them were good, you know. One girl was gorgeous, another one was good. The rest of them were, hey, get that shit out of here. But they were fun, right? That's all that matters sometimes, is someone is enjoyable. They're a fun time. That's why you see weird-looking motherfuckers on the dance floor dancing with the baddest bitch in the club, because he's a lot of fun, you know? People don't realize that shit. I remember being a kid and one of my family friends told me, he's like, it doesn't matter if you're buff, doesn't matter if you got a lot of money. A lot of women just want to have fun. They want to have a guy to dance with, to have a good time with. And that's true, you know? Now, if you're a broke son of a bitch and you're fat, but you have fun, you might be hard-pressed to find yourself a lady, but it's, it's all relative. Nonetheless, we had a good time. I don't want to tell you too much about it because there will be videos. We're going to figure out a timeline to get them out to you. And all you need to know from me now is that it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. Ha, 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 ha. Have you guys seen the Immortal Jellyfish? There is a species of jellyfish that is able to pretty much it stops the aging process. It can only do it to itself, right? This is the only species of jellyfish that can do it to themselves. Let me just find this quick. Hold the phone, literally. Spanish researchers have successfully mapped the genome of the immortal jellyfish, which is only 3 millimeters long. Has the ability to return an earlier stage in its life cycle without dying or modifying its DNA. I almost said GTA. The jellyfish can theoretically repeat this process forever, meaning that it never dies naturally. Predators and other hazards still kill the jellyfish. 3 jellyfish have age-reversing abilities, but only the immortal jellyfish can repeat the process endlessly. Researchers hope, this is the most important part, researchers hope that understanding the jellyfish's DNA can help improve humans' own lifespan. So what this jellyfish can do is actually go back in time. It can become a child again. It can become an infant again if it wanted to. So it'll never die. It'll never die naturally as long as it can keep doing that, this is the only species of jellyfish that can do that. And the end of that article is interesting because it says humans want to better understand this being's DNA to help us anti-age. Now, I already know that that's coming, right? We already know that as time goes on, people live longer, right? You hear about stories, the medieval fucking times, people died at 40 years old, and you were lucky. But most people died. Most people died early on. Now, life expectancy is much longer because of modern medicine and all these things. We're smarter. We know how to take care of things. You get tuberculosis. You don't chop your leg off, Do people still get tuberculosis? It doesn't really matter. But you get something, and we know how to treat it far better than we did back in those days, back in the olden times. So naturally, as time goes on, we're going to have probably longer lifespans. Unless, of course, nuclear annihilation comes, then there's no such thing as a lifespan. There's no such thing as anything anymore. And we'll all be gone. So, here's the thing, guys. You know why evolution caused this jellyfish, or is allowing this jellyfish to do this? I think it's because jellyfish mind their fucking business. Jellyfish, they probably have no concept of community. Maybe they do, and if they do, it's a very, very crude, base-level idea of community. They're not going to band against one another and build military-industrial complexes. They're not going to destroy the planet and then bitch about how they can fix the planet. They're not going to do these things because they're jellyfish. So they can live forever, right? They can just keep living. They can pick each day if they want to be a fucking child or if they want to be an adult. And they can live forever, just like tortoises, whatever the fuck, alligators. These motherfuckers, they live for hundreds of years. Why? Because they don't really fuck with people. Yes, alligators eat people. Some tortoises are nasty, but that's what they're nasty because we go to fuck with them. Those animals are only bad because they eat our children sometimes. But who the fuck is sending their children near the island? Why did we inhabit this area where there's tons and tons of alligators? Why, you expect your kid to play near the creek and have him not get eaten? That's high expectations when you live in Florida or you live in Louisiana or wherever the fuck they got alligators, you know? But they live so long because of course, evolution has a hand in that, right? Evolution is able to, they have to evolve. That's why alligators are still around. They're the apex predator. They're able to through eons, thousands of years, they were able to get to the point so that they're still fucking around, right? Whereas humans, do we really need humans that live forever? I mean, serious question. Is there any human that you've ever looked at and said, I want them to live forever? I want them to be around. I've yet to see one. Seriously, I've yet to see one. Family, friends, everybody. We are not supposed to live forever, right? No matter what Oasis says in the song Live Forever. You and I are gonna live forever. Sing that to the jellyfish, motherfucker. You and I are gonna die like we're fucking supposed to. We are supposed to. All beings are supposed to die. Except for this particular jellyfish. For whatever reason, they were gifted with the immortality key. Now, I personally, as a human, have never once been attracted to the idea of living forever. And if you're attracted to that idea, then you're a demon. You're a demon, you're a fucking kook, you're a lunatic. Because living forever sounds absolutely miserable. You haven't gotten enough of this? You haven't gotten enough of this shit that we do? You want to do it until time doesn't exist. There's people out there waiting for that jellyfish pill, that jellyfish topical cream, right? The first time I ever heard anti-aging was in creams and lotions and cosmetics. Do you want to look younger? Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's bullshit. Maybe. You don't need me to tell you that. Maybe it's bullshit. Maybe the beauty industry is bullshit as a whole. You guys ever think that? That maybe, just maybe, the beauty industry is taking advantage of all of your insecurities. And this goes for men too, right? It's mostly for women, but for men as well, right? There's the anti-balding, right? The Bosley, the Rogaine. You know, there's that bullshit that some barbers will do. They'll dump that black powder on your face and trim your beard, make it look like it's fuller than it is. You know, isn't it just, or clothing, right? Certain types of clothes. These clothes make you look a certain way. You look slimmer in black. Don't wear horizontal lines. You'll look fat. Don't do that. As if you weren't wearing a shirt, you would look skinny. If you weren't wearing clothes, you would look good. You know? But since you don't look good, since you feel that you look like shit, based on what we tell you looks good, buy this. Look at this. Look at this thing. This is the anti-aging cream. You rub it on your ass and it gets fatter. Buy that. It stops you from having a saggy mom ass. You don't want that, right? Nobody wants a saggy mom ass. So you get the anti-aging cream and you rub it on there. You rub it on. But the beauty industry is one of the more disgusting industries there is, right? I mean, the word industry, we could go deep into that and understand that the idea of that is disgusting as well. But for sure, if we're talking about a business that preys on people like a fucking pedophile at an amusement park, preys on people, their insecurities, their problems, how they feel. Are you too short? Are you too fat? Do you have too much acne? Do you have a scar you don't want people to see? Do you want to have this kind of hair? Do you want to have that color in your beard? Do you want the? It's like, it's all. If you don't see that, then, I'm not saying that you should stop, right? I'm a big proponent of just seeing what things are and just continuing to use it, right? I know my clothes that I'm wearing was made by a little girl in Jakarta, Indonesia, with no teeth, barefoot in a factory. I know that, but I'm not going to stop wearing it. I'm not going to stop wearing it. Just like you, who likes to wear, you ladies who do the lashes and the makeup and the whole thing, which most women do, and good on you, right? Good on you, because it makes you feel good, makes you feel happy. But just know that what that company is doing is the same thing that a serial killer in a movie does, right? You watch a movie with a serial killer, it's a great genre. Everyone loves a good murder movie. Everyone does. And normally what happens is you hear about, in the town, there's one night where Bobby the murderer comes out and kills everybody. So watch out. So that's where people get nervous. Oh no, Bobby the murderer. It's September the 15th. The moon is full. Watch out, he's gonna spree. So he gets that illusion in your mind. Here comes Bobby the murderer on September the 15th. And now everybody's on edge. Oh, God, here he comes. Ah. And then he comes and he starts murdering people, and But he did that. He got people nervous beforehand. He got everybody nervous before because of the tales, the tall tales that have been told, just like a makeup company. Just like Sephora does, You don't want to look ugly, do you? You don't want to look gross. It's mainly, well, here's the thing, right? It's mainly you don't want to look worse than the person next to you, right? As long as you're not the ugliest motherfucker in the room, as long as you don't look the most like shit, most people are okay with that. It's rarely for them. It's more for, oh my God, I can't stand it. There's a motorcycle outside. People ride around on motorcycles around here that sound like lawnmowers. They sound like weed whackers. They sound like they rode them from the tip of Tijuana all the way up here. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like somebody who is incredibly impoverished, who doesn't even know how impoverished they are. They don't even know how much monetary plight that they have. So they went and bought themselves a third or fourth hand motorcycle that you need to crank to stop. You got to pull on it like a fucking lawnmower. You got to pull on it like a lawnmower, and it sounds like shit. These guys ride around here on these machines that absolutely sound like dog shit. Like at all hours of the day. But not to go off topic here. Most people just want to look better than the person next to them, right? They want to look better than the group of people that they're around in the club or they're over here. They want to make sure that they look the best. And if they're in a crew, they want to make sure their crew looks the best out of everybody. They want to do everything in their power so that it's never because, it's rarely a decision, an internal decision, right? It's more of an external decision when you decide to do these type of things, right? It's because you want this person to find you attractive, right? That's mostly what it is. You want other people to find you attractive, It's not because you yourself want to be attractive. That's what I find. I could be wrong. I'm not a woman. But when I do things, right, when I get my beard lined up, when I get a haircut, when I use my face wash in the shower. It's because I want to look good for other people. I don't care how I look to myself. Most people don't, if I had to assume. They want to make sure they look. That's why when you go out, you dress a certain way. When you go out to a club, when you go out to a bar, you dress a certain way. You wouldn't go out somewhere in sweatpants, right? If you're going to try and get laid or you're going to try and meet somebody. That's what we do it for. And when we're not doing that, when we're not dolling ourselves up, it's because we don't give a fuck about what people think about us in that period of time. Right? Now, there is something to be said about having, being well put together and clean and all these things. You do feel better. You feel better, definitely. But it doesn't take away from the beauty in the fashion industry and their ability to prey on those feelings, right? They know that sometimes it does make you feel. Don't you feel good? Don't you like it when you wear a new suit? What's that shit? The gentleman's whatever? You're going to like the way you look. Yeah. You're going to like spending money here. That's basically what he's saying. You're going to like the way you look. I love that. It's true. You usually do. But, again, that's them preying on, that's them hoping that what we're doing is we will buy in to whatever the fuck that you're saying to us, you know? And most of us do. But anti-aging, that's where I got on this. That's for the first time I heard that term, anti-aging. And I always thought it was just for old people, right? You get to a point where you don't want to be the age that you are, right? Everybody, I'm turning 53 this month. Consider yourself lucky. You know how many people died at 50 or 25 or whatever? You get to ring this rosy a couple more times, baby. Just, hey, you know what you do? You get a nice stone wall. Maybe you got a garage or something. Once you hit 50, just tally each day. If you're that worried, just tally each day. And by the time it comes, it won't even be a thought. That's the thing. We are so scared. We're so scared of dying that we are studying a jellyfish. We're studying a jellyfish's genome so that we could maybe extract the same shit that is allowing this animal to do whatever the fuck it does, right? We want to alter our chemical makeup, our DNA. We want to alter the way that we exist so that we can live longer. We're so scared of dying. We're so scared of death. It's because we don't know. We as humans are so nervous of the unknown. We have no clue because our lives are so incredibly regimented every single day. Now, I'm not saying that you should think about death all the time to get prepared for when it comes. But one thing is true about death. You don't know when it's coming. You hope it's later. You hope it's later on, and you hope it's in good circumstances. You and your family are together. You're not suffering. Maybe you're sedated. Maybe you're, people are around, and you could spend your last moments with the people you love. But that doesn't always happen, right? Death doesn't wait for anybody, and it's not perfect. But if we were to get rid of this stigma of dying and how terrible and awful it is, and I don't want to die, oh no, look at all the things that we can do on this side of the ground. Look at it all. We can sing and dance and fucking eat and smoke and make money. We could do all these things. We won't be able to do that after. Are you sure? No, I'm not sure. Nobody knows. So then why can't it be a great mystery? The natives, they didn't have any qualms about death, right? They didn't have, granted, they saw death way more often. We don't see death anymore. It's not part of our lives, There's no, it's not a pertinent part of it. It's in the back of our mind, Nobody thinks that it's going to happen to them. right? Nobody thinks that it's going to die. I'm not going to die. I got a while before I die. Okay, keep living that way. Keep living that way. Keep saying that tomorrow's the day that I'm going to do this. Keep living in a way that you think you have endless time. That's what we think. We think because our lives are so good as modern humans, most of us, we think that we're going to do this forever. We think that the longer we live, the more time we're going to have, because of technological advances and all these things. We believe that we might live the longest, this current flock of humans, and we do live the longest when you compare, but the natives, or the samurai, right? Bushido. Death is forever present. And that is true for a samurai, right? Because they're soldiers, they're in the military, they were literally fighting all the time, okay? Death is forever present. But even in peacetime, that was the mantra. Death is forever present. That's why people pray, right? A lot of people pray because they're reminding themselves that there's something after this. And I think that would be beneficial if most humans started thinking that way as opposed to fucking monitoring the way a jellyfish lives, the way a jellyfish operates, and how we're going to integrate that into the human. We're going to go back to being children. We're going to get the ability to go back to being 6 years old. You want that? I mean, I get it, right? When you're 70 and you're like, I want to be 25, and you just jellyfish your way into it. I get, people want that. And when it becomes available, that shit's going to sell off the shelves. Buy your new Jellyfish Pill. You take this and you're instantly younger. But are you? No. You just look younger. Age is just a number. If you were born in, 70 years ago, and you take the jellyfish pill, and your body reverts to when you were 25, you're still 70 years old. You just look like a 25-year-old, And maybe you can restart, and maybe you could do all these things, but I mean, people need to die, right? Humans need to die. They do. We can't have motherfuckers. Do you want a person in Congress to get their hands on one of these things? Or a judge? Or anybody in power? Any person that is in a position of power, you want them to get this, right? Sometimes the only way that you can escape a terrible leader is for them to die. Right? Congress, the Senate, these people can hold office forever. They hold it forever, guys, some of these people. They're the representatives forever. So you're gonna wave in front of their eyes, here's the jellyfish pill. Keep you alive another 50 years. And we're going to keep working on it so that you can be immortal. Immortal. That's all we need. That's just scary. Immortal? You're going to be immortal, but you're going to be a human. Imagine that. Usually the people that are immortal, when you hear of immortal humans, they're demigods. They have powers. You're just going to be the same fucking flesh bag that walks around, but you're going to do it forever now, till the end of time. That doesn't sound enticing. Not even one bit. Not even a half a bit. Okay? That doesn't sound good to me at all. And I think that we should leave these jellyfish alone. Leave these if you want to learn about them, sure, go ahead. Anti-aging is going to be a thing, way more prominent in the future. It already is, but, there's no stopping it. So why am I even whatever, you know? Like, it is such a meddling process. That's all we do as humans, is just to meddle with things that we think can benefit us and fuck everything else. But I digress. I hope that we make some big strides in this massive scientific breakthrough of immortality. Just wait until that becomes a field of study. Immortality. That's going to be a field of scientific study. Harvard's going to come up with a school of immortality, immortal studies. How about that? Immortal studies. That's going to be a part of genomics and anatomy and medicine, technology as well. It's all going to be, how do we progress this meat sack forward? And if everyone decides that it's by making us, immortal, then good God, save yourself. Don't take that fucking pill. Don't do it. Don't rub the cream on your face. Please, whatever you do. Now, there's something else that is somewhat interesting to me, I think. Anytime a government organization or a government in general needs to save a little bit of face, right? Needs to paint a better picture of themselves, they typically hide behind children, right? Some of you may remember watching George Carlin's last special, It's Bad For You. And there's a part in there where he says, the government notoriously hides behind a few things, the Bible and children. And man, how fucking real is that? I came on here a couple months ago, whenever the fuck it was, and spoke about how the FDA wants to ban certain things for the children. And there's always some fucking stupid thing that we need to protect the children. What about the adults? What about everybody? Why don't we protect everybody? Now, what I'm talking about in particular, the state of California is proposing a Protect the Kids bill regarding social media. Okay? Now, hold on. This will require these big tech companies to do a little bit better job of making sure children don't find certain things. They don't see certain things, too early on and whatever. Here's the thing, guys. For a lot of kids, the shit that they see on the internet is nothing compared to their actual lives. Some kids, their lives are in such bad shape because of the fucking sickos that decided to have them. The sick couple that decided that the only way that they're going to be able to coexist is if they have a kid. But they're not ready to change for that kid, right? They're not ready to stop partying. They're not ready to change their lives for that child. So that child grows up in shit, right? That child grows up in a fucked up place. Mommy and daddy are arguing. Maybe they get divorced, right? Maybe there's some abuse, physical, mental, emotional. Sometimes school is the only place for a kid. And even there, they're looked at as alienated, or they're looked at as a certain way. Maybe they don't have friends. Maybe it's tough for them to meet people because of the fact that their home life is dog shit, right? Sometimes when they turn on Facebook or Instagram, or they go on social media and they see a person getting run over, right? Which is something we see often. They see a person getting ran over in the street, or maybe they see a person getting attacked by a lion. That's their after dinner cigarette. That's their calm, a lot of these kids. You're going to take that away from them? Some of these kids, their lives are so horrific that at the age of 6, they're already watching Scarface just to take the edge off. Just to give them a little bit of, if you really want to protect the kids, then maybe we should protect the adults that are having the kids. Maybe we should monitor some of these home lives, I'm not saying, I'm anti-government intervention, right? I don't want the government involved in anything I do. I don't want anybody that I haven't co-signed to be involved in anything that I do. I just, that's me personally. I don't believe in censorship. Which is basically what this bill is asking for. But if we're going to monitor something, if the government is going to put its grubby little fucking fingers in our lives like it always does, then why not monitor the absolute assholes, the people who should not have children? There's just people out there. Why not monitor them? Why not monitor the home lives, the at-home lives of some of these kids? Because it's bad, guys. It's bad. It does not start or stop with social media, okay? It is the way that a child is raised. That hasn't changed. It has not changed. That is one thing that has not changed in how a person develops. The way that they were raised, the things, the information that they took in, the people that they mimicked as a child, right? Which is usually the parents or the brothers or the immediate family, the siblings. That is the building blocks for how you're going to live your life going forward. And people don't want to believe that. They want to blame other things. It's social media, and it's video games, and it's rock and roll music, it's rap music, it's this, it's that, it's the people you hang out with. No, it's not. It's none of those fucking things. It's none of those things. It's the way that you were brought up. People want to put the blame on somebody else. Parents don't want to take credit for fucking their kid up. They want to blame it elsewhere. They want to blame it on, the schools or the kids or the this or the that. They want to protect themselves, That's really what it is. They want social media and television have pretty much given parents the green light to be absent. Right? I would like to see what it would be like to raise a kid without any of that shit, without any of those influences. How would the kid be? Right? How would it be? If any time they wanted to do something or any time they wanted to have fun, they were forced to be creative, or parents had to hang out with their children whenever. Maybe they have to read a book. Right? Like, I wonder what it would be like to be a kid who didn't get all the shit that all the other kids got. I grew up with some of those kids. Sandberg, eh? Here we go. This motherfucker, 12 o'clock boys, riding by again. Motherfucker. And now he's going to sit outside, and it's going to brrr outside my fucking window. When one day I'm going to go out there with a fucking baseball bat and I'm going to beat one of these guys to death. I'm telling you right now, one day you're going to see me on the new. I have until April, okay? If I don't snap before April, consider it a miracle. Consider it a miracle that if by April you don't hear about me beating a guy to death outside of my apartment building, and then lighting his motorcycle on fire and watching it explode from my window, just understand that if that doesn't happen by April, if I'm not on the news for a murder with a fucking blunt weapon, understand that it was a miracle. And understand that I tried very, very hard for it not to happen. Now, I lost my place here. We were talking about the kids and the social media and how people want to blame it on that. It's funny because they pick a new thing every year, every generation, right? It was TV. The TV's rotting the kids' brains. And then video games got real intense. It's the video games, not violence. And then it's social media. Social media is the big one. The kids, they see too much. It doesn't help their self-image. Maybe if you taught the kid to put their self-worth above everybody else's, right? Maybe if you taught the kid a sense of community. Maybe if you taught the kid how to love, how to give love, how to receive love, how to be a decent fucking human being. Then the social media later on, sure, it affects us in some way. It affects us all in some way. What I want to know is, what is this actually going to do for kids? Like, what do they think this will help children with? Making friends? No. Because all kids do is fuck around. Their best friends are on social media all day, all the time. After they leave school, they go home and they play fucking video games, and then they are in group chats, and they are sharing things on social media, things they find funny. They're tweeting back and forth to each other. It's all on social media. That's where their friends are. They're not going to make more friends. You think they're going to, if you just all of a sudden start monitoring social media for kids, they're just going to feel better about themselves. Their body images, they're not going to compare themselves to other people all of a sudden. Just out of the blue, right? It's so stupid. It is just another way for the government to meddle in the lives of people. And they're doing it in a way that makes it sound positive because they want to help the kids. Everybody wants to help the kids. The kids are our future. Sure, whatever you say. You know what our future is? It's whatever the fuck the people in power now want it to be. Right? Who were maybe children at one point, but they're so far past being children. Right? When was Elon Musk a child? When was Jeff Bezos? When was Bill Gates a child? Right? When were these politicians children? So long ago. So long ago. It's forgotten about, guys. Nobody thinks about these people as children. Nobody thinks about that. Okay? They are power-wielding adults who will tell us where our future is going. Okay? The children now have no say. Do you know how long from now the children of today have before they have any influence on where the future lies? Right? That's the truth. Our future is where they tell us it's going to be. It's not the children. The children, by the time they're allowed to do those kinds of things, will already be set in certain parameters. They'll be set within the parameters that were given already by the people now. You know how long it will take for the children of today to figure out what happens next? It's stupid. It is literally just a way to get people to comply a little bit more. If you're gonna monitor something, maybe we should monitor the amount of cigarettes that a mom is smoking next to her 4-year-old. Right? Maybe we should monitor that. Maybe we should monitor the amount of times that daddy comes home at 4 a.m. after sleeping with a hooker and then beats up mama, wakes up the child right before school, and then angrily drops them off in front of some dilapidated fucking elementary school that they live next to. Maybe we should monitor that. Maybe that has a bigger impact on the children than TikTok dances. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. I think most people agree with that. I think most people agree that by the time a child is 7 years old, 8 years old, they have some kind of identity. They've been mimicking for a while. They've been going to school. They've been being social. They've found some things they like. By that point, your kid's probably a year or two into some sport that they enjoy or some hobby that they enjoy. By that point, a personality is starting to bud. It's starting to be created, okay? Social media, I don't know if it has an impact. I don't know how much research has been done on something like this. Now, I just want to get what the actual parameters are on this. So, California's Senate passed a bill requiring social media companies to protect underage users. The bill, the first of its kind in the U.S., comes amidst broader scrutiny into social media's effects on kids. The bill claims that Instagram and other social media apps exacerbate self-image issues, misuse kids' data, and increase the risk of teen suicide. Now, I just want to say, before I read the rest of this, teen suicide is rampant in general. Maybe this increases it. Maybe it increases the risk of teen suicide. But teens kill themselves. That is a time you're very vulnerable as a teenager. People look at those years as formative. It's angsty, right? You're learning about yourself. Maybe you're becoming sexually active for the first time. You know, there's a lot of problems going on at that time. And sure, your risk of killing yourself is a little higher in those days, right? Everybody has a scare. I wanted to kill myself in those days. You know, most people do because there's a lot of shit going on. And yeah, social media doesn't help. It doesn't help, right? Cyberbullying, remember that? Remember when cyberbullying was the talk of the town? Cyberbullying, evil. Like you can't just shut the motherfucker off. So funny. Misusing kids' data. What's the right way to use kids' data? Huh? What is the correct use of kids' data? That shouldn't even be a sentence. The correct use of kids' data. That's a child. What data does a child have? You know, you mean their keystrokes? You mean their search history? Right? That's what we have fell in love with. Data. I saw a quote somewhere. It was Professor Pascal Wallisch. We were born too late to study the Earth or some shit, and too early to study the cosmos. So what do we study? Data. We love data. We do, and it's a commodity. And I guess children's data is being misused, but not everybody else's. Everyone else's data is being used perfectly. It's being used to market products to us, right? It's being used to show these companies where we are at all times. That's a correct use of data. That is a good, solid use of data. And it's on adults. I don't know. The bill would require tech companies to strengthen data security, block phishing messages, restrict harmful content, and put default settings to high privacy modes for users under 18. Now, here's the thing, guys. Does this work if the child just doesn't sign up as a child? You remember when you were a kid and you'd go onto a site you weren't supposed to go on, and it says, are you 18 or older? Are you 21? And all you do is you check the box. Yep, check the box. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm old enough, sure. Sure. Isn't that just what, like, that is a paper wall. It is a paper wall that anybody can see through, guys. My point is this. I don't think that social media has any more of an effect on children and the way that they are, the way that they interface with the world. I don't think it has any more of an effect on children than video games or certain kinds of music or certain movies and TV shows. I don't think it has any effect. Now, do I think that fucking children should be watching, Game of Thrones? Probably not, right? They probably shouldn't be, because I mean, when I was a kid, I could watch pretty much anything, right? You get carte blanche to do whatever the fuck you want. And, it's not great, right? Maybe you should limit it, but that shouldn't be the government's job. It should be the parents' job. The parents should be the one monitoring this shit, okay? And if the kid gets smart enough to figure out how to turn off the parental control, then, hey, then fair play to him. You can't. There's only so much you can do. And this bullshit about saving the children. Let's save the children. The children need our help. We need to save the children. Enough of that shit, please. Enough of that shit. Save the children that you care about. Save the children in your families. Do your best to save your children, to save your nieces and nephews, your little cousins, your siblings. Save them. The rest of them, who cares? Realistically, they're going to be fine. They're going to be like the rest of us one day with unresolved traumas, right? They're going to build their own addictions based on whatever. Since the beginning of time, there's always been influences on people and how they're born or how they're raised. And right now, we have the most opportunity to sway our children in any direction. We have the most opportunity to do that. There's so many different ways that you can be born, and there's so many different ways that you can be raised. And if you want your kid to not be on social media for as long as possible, then you as a parent can do that. I remember, the Sandbergs. I remember being a kid, and they didn't have internet. I'd be like, what? We'd be in school playing games, playing video games, on the computer, playing computer games. And they're like, some of us would hog it, and they'd be like, come on, man, I don't have internet in my house. I can't play this shit. When I was a kid, when everyone else had internet, when everyone else at their house could play these video games, these guys couldn't. And it shows now, because when I hang out with them, they don't use their phones. They barely do that shit. They don't scroll. They do it on a very menial basis. And because of that, it's almost like they're decent people. It's almost like they're happy with what they have. It's almost like they're not chasing the next thing all the time. Right? That's why I admire people like that. That's why I don't want to hear about the development of children. Because if you do it the right way, then you get yourself some decent adults. Yes, there's outliers. There's the Ted Bundy or whoever the fuck it was. It was either him or Dahmer who said they grew up in a very nice home. They were loved and whatever else. And that, those are the outliers. But it is, you're gonna be hard pressed to convince me that media in any capacity has the same amount of influence on the development of a child that their parents do, that their home environment does. That's it. That's all I'm trying to say. Should you monitor your kids? Yes. Should the government do it? No. That's my big point. And I'm sticking to the motherfucker. I am. Now, I think we're going to wrap this episode up. Thank you guys for playing along this morning. Again, I apologize for showing up late today. I pride myself on having episodes ready for you guys early in the morning because I know some of you are early risers. But I am, this'll, of course, it is a little late. This isn't going to be a habit. I fucked things up this week. I was not great with timing and time management. Very tough. Very, very tough thing to do is manage your time. If only they taught us how to do it. If only they taught us how to manage our time in a efficient manner. But I digress. Dates, we got September 10th, Broadway Comedy Club. I'm doing 2 shows. It's a Saturday. I'm doing the 10 p.m. and the 11 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. And every night, there's open mics. Every night, I'm working. I'm out. I'm trying, guys. It's, this trip put me in the hole deep with money. Deep. The month of August was fucking terrible, guys. I spent so much money and made very little. But what the fuck are we doing here? Okay, if we're not trying to have a good time, then, check out. Check out and see what all the hubbub is on the other side. Maybe come back and tell us a little bit about it. Thank you guys for listening. I'll talk to you on Monday. Peace. Hey, I'm back to reiterate all the stuff that I said at the top of the show. Follow and subscribe. Bye-bye.